Good evening. So I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I know that this is a thing for so many people, but did you ever go through that era in your childhood where you absolutely hated your voice? Like, as in, there is like, I'm pretty sure there's a phobia. I'm pretty sure it's called something where like you can't listen to your voice back on a recording. When I was younger, that used to bring out such a visceral reaction within me. Like I could vomit. I could literally vomit to the point where like my brother, to upset me, would like play me like recordings of my voice. But that was when I was really, really small. Like he used to do that. He used to do that, and that was like I'm not even joking. That was genuinely traumatic. My voice has always been something that I've been very insecure about. When I was really, really, really young, like before the age of 10, my voice was very deep, very, 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 very deep. And I always felt like I sound like a boy. No, I really feel like I used to sound like a fat boy. And I know you know what I mean by that, but I did used to sound like that. Like for real, I used to sound like that. And then when I hit puberty, I actually for some reason, and I still don't know why, my voice actually became very, very, very high pitched to the point where I knew it was annoying and I couldn't help it. And I don't know if people like remember when the first Pitch Perfect movie came out. I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know if this girl is still in it. But there's like a girl, and she like, do you know what I mean? Like she's literally like at a whisper. That's what I used to do. Like if you knew me in year seven, I was either screaming loud, and it's like so annoying, so annoying. Like I couldn't whisper. I couldn't. My voice was just so out of control, and it was so like embarrassing and painful. Like I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it. And it wasn't just my talking voice either. When I was younger, I loved to sing. I never wanted to be like a singer. I don't think I did anyway. I wanted to be loads of things. But like, I don't know. I'm happy with just being myself now for the rest of my life. So I don't really have like I do have aspirations, no, I do. But they all come from like who I am. So I don't think I ever wanted to be a singer. I don't remember ever wanting to be a singer. But I used to just like singing, like enjoy singing. And there were some days where my voice was it was kind of good. Like I can't lie. Sometimes my voice was kind of good. Sometimes I would feel so nervous and so sick that I would like just sing in my speaking voice. And it wasn't good because my school was formerly performing arts, so we all had to sing at some point. Like everyone was involved in yearly musicals, and it was very like a musical ish school. I'm gonna sneeze. It's gone. That's annoying. So yeah, anyway, school was like a thing where we all used to sing. And then, when it got to year 11, they were like, do you want to be in a band for extracurricular? I was like, yeah, that's really, really cool. And I was in a band outside of school and then a band inside of school. But it was like not real. It was just like a way for me to bond with my friends and be silly. And we gossip on the way there. And it was so fun. And like, I remember this one girl called, like, she was actually a vibe. Like, I think I gave off the vibe that I didn't like her, but I did actually like her. And she was like fun to speak to, and we would like just gossip on the way there. Like it would just be funny. Sometimes we would argue, but it would be like a cute argument, and like it was cute. I went to her house sometimes. It was really cool, and it was more like a bonding thing. It wasn't like we're serious. We're trying to like everyone else who did it was like very much serious, and they were good. We were just like taking the mic, literally taking the mic. Oh, my best friend joined at the end as well. Like what, like my best friend Lucia, like she literally like joined at the end. It was really cool. Um, and I remember when I was with and Lucia, I don't know why I'm using everyone's real name. They don't care, they don't care, they don't care. But anyway, when I was with these two girls in this studio and we were like doing the school band thing, it was like fun and they never told me like shut up. Like they none of us could really sing anyway. Like me and the girl that used to like gossip and stuff, like she couldn't really like she wasn't like a singer. I'm not a singer. We were just chilling. Like she could play the guitar, I could play the ukulele, like mainly just sing though, and like it was vibe, it was funny, it was, you know what I mean, it's just like something to do. um We got to record a song at the end of it, which was awful. But uh, then outside of school, I was like, no, I really am enjoying this. And like, this is so embarrassing. But like, I obviously used to like love ukuleles because I was a massive 21 Pilots fan. Just let me get to the point. Don't judge me, just let me get to the point. So I I said to my cousin who did like music for GCSE, and like another friend who loved 21 Pilots, we'd been to see them like 3 times together already, and she played the drums, so it was like that vibe. We'd like get together and stuff and like sing. And every time I like opened my mouth, they would like look at each other and start laughing. And I remember like as a young person, like going through puberty, like especially as a young girl, I don't know, like embarrassment really affected me. Now I'll just do anything embarrassing. I don't care. This is embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? But like it really affected me. And I don't know, like it just tore up my soul. So then that started happening. And then, and nothing in the actual like band studio place, no one had told me that I was like disgustingly tone deaf then. And I know I wasn't a great singer, but like nobody told me I was like disgustingly horribly tone deaf. um my best friend just told me once that I had a country twang to my singing voice, which literally made me crease, and I love her for saying that. She's just funny. She's just funny for no reason. Like that was like the thing. But to make matters worse, I also have like a very like performative family. Like I've mentioned this before, like a lot of my family are in business. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only Leo rising in my family, but it's a very much Leo rising type family. Like everyone's like a bit of a go-getter. So like, yeah, me and my two other cousins who are all the same age, we used to do this thing at like this family event that happens every year. We would like sing together. And then like I remember one time we were just like rehearsing to do that, and every time I opened my mouth they would just laugh. Like they would literally just, and like again it just made me feel like, and this was like about a year after like sixth form, so like a year after like it had already happened. It was the same cousin that was involved that like was like laughing. And I was like, this is so crazy. Because like surely you just say, oh my god, that sounded really bad. Like just say it like this or do it like this. But no one was giving me like constructive criticism. They were just laughing. So I really grew to hate my voice, like way past childhood, like really into like I'm 24, and I feel like it's just now, it's only now that I've started to be okay with the fact that I sound like this. And it genuinely, like sometimes when I think about it, it does make me cry. It does, because like it didn't feel good. So then like with singing, like I stopped singing, and like what made it worse was like I think a couple of years after that we used to always sing together, and then a couple of years after that they like planned to just sing by themselves, and they just like sung in front of the whole family like by themselves. And that was just like, oh my god, I must have like the most horrible voice ever, like I must just sound horrible. Which I know probably isn't true, but like that's how it felt. um and yeah, like people are always asking me like, why do you have that accent when you grew up in Birmingham? I don't actually, I feel like I have a Birmingham accent. I don't know if it's because where I grew up was slightly on the outskirts of Birmingham, and then I went to a school that's like in between Worcester and Birmingham, and then for uni I lived in Worcester for 4 years. So I don't know if I have a really watered down Birmingham accent because of that, but also like people think that because I live near Birmingham, I'm gonna have a Birmingham accent. But like my parents are immigrants. Like my parents both weren't born here. They don't speak. They speak like just standard English. Like they don't speak like Burmese. It just doesn't make any sense. And to make it worse, my sister has a black country accent, and I think my brother kind of has a Brummie accent, which are two completely separate accents. Weird, really, really weird. But their dad, because they're my half siblings. Their dad does have a black country accent, so it makes sense. But like, I'm not saying like you inherit accents or anything, but like how your parents taught you're going to talk, they literally teach you how to speak. Like I was taught how to speak by a Jamaican and a Nigerian. a middle class Jamaican and a working class Nigerian. What do you actually want me to sound like? Like I don't and like genuinely coming to terms with something like your voice is such a hard battle. And I know people are probably listening to this like there's literally nothing wrong with how she speaks. She speaks normal, like she's just not special. Like I know it's not, but it is genuinely like something I have really struggled with. Like this sounds so dumb. This doesn't even sound real, but I promise you, like this is real. This is real to me. And just to tie it into like the themes of this whole thing that I'm doing, it's like as a Gemini, being the sign of communication, being like the throat chakra. I love talking. I love talking. I love having conversations with people. Um, but I always felt like, um, how am I going to speak? Like, I'd be going on a date and I'd be thinking, what pitch should I choose? Should I change how I say this? Should I, like, it's just crazy, 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 crazy. All this to basically say that if you're one of those people that is constantly policing your tone, constantly policing your accent, how you pronounce things, everything, just know that first of all, probably no one can hear it. Probably no one can hear it. Two, the reason why you feel like that is because of just like insecurities that you have, like all of these situations. No one in these stories, I'm sure they haven't consciously thought she sounds horrible, let's bully her for it and instill in her that it's wrong and how she sounds is wrong. Like nobody thought that and consciously did that. They may have just been laughing at something else. It's just me being insecure and me compiling all of those instances into now like a belief, a core belief that is just false. So yeah, like just know that it's not real. No one else thinks that you sound weird. And if you genuinely do kind of have a problem, that's not like a speech impediment that you can go to like a speech and language therapist. Because I know people are going to be like, well, why didn't you just like go and get help if you sounded so weird? Like, if I had said at that time, mom, dad, can I go to therapy for my voice? They'd be like, what are you on about? It was something I was so embarrassed about that I would not talk about it. I would not tell anyone about it. I would hate listening to recordings myself. I would just no, I would not tell anyone about it. Um, and it's actually one of the biggest barriers that I've had to overcome in wanting to do YouTube. Um, I've always wanted to do YouTube actually, like since the British YouTube era that happened when I was about like 14. um I've seen myself like wanting to be a personality. um but that was one of the main barriers as well. I didn't start then, and you can see by the flow of videos on my channel that I keep trying to start. Like 2 years ago I tried to start, couldn't continue. um and then like last year tried to start, couldn't continue, and hopefully this is like third time's a charm, hopefully. But insane, insane, like a really really big barrier. And I couldn't get help because it didn't make sense to anyone else, because it was not real. It was an insecurity. Like it's not like I had an actual problem. And I think that it would have been really silly of me to pretend that I had some sort of impediment when there's actual people that genuinely do need help with their speech. I was not one of those people. I just needed help with my mentals and needed help with my self-esteem, and now I have that. I feel so much better. So I wanted to make that video because I know at least one person in the world can relate to what I'm saying. And if you can, just please tell me, what was your journey with like feeling comfortable with your voice? Why do you think that happens? Obviously I understand a little bit of the psychology behind it, of in terms of what happened to me, because I've had therapy and I also do have a psychology degree, so I naturally would research things like that. But because it's my own experience, it's hard for me to kind of apply theory. And I do want to kind of hear about other people's experience with it as well. But it's such a strange thing to love talking, to be scared to talk, to love singing, to be scared to sing. And like the fear is so like intense and like I can't explain, like so embarrassing. Um, but I'm really, really glad that I'm like over that now. You know, the reason why I'm actually making this video is because one of my favorite YouTubers, Alexander? No, Leo Alexandra, one of my favorite like astrology queens. I can't really encompass her channel. It's just like a safe space. Um, you know, being a part of that community, being a part of the B community, um, and like hearing someone like that who has such a calming voice, like who does affirmations that I fall asleep to, and people are saying to her in the comments, your voice sounds so beautiful, like I wish I sounded like you, whatever. To have her come out on camera and say, I've been always insecure of my voice and how I pronounce things, I like, I had to pause the video and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that someone that sounds like her as well has like gone through that. And that made me feel really good. So I wanted to make a video on that and like pass on that positive energy, that if you are feeling like that, it will leave, even if it takes years and years and years. Like I said, I'm 24, I'm nearly 25. I'm nearly 25, and I promise you, it was just now. It took me 24 years to feel like how I sound is okay, and I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to try and change it. I'm not going to try and make it fit something that it doesn't fit. I sound like this, and that's no one else's business. Like, it's everyone else's problem. It isn't mine. So yeah. Bye.